Okay, we are recording. All right, so welcome to March 15th. Super hilarious. Aaron and I this entire weekend have been like learning about each other. It's so crazy. Like we've just been like talking and actually like communicating, and like he was showing me all these like memes and stuff about like people who are like, there's this woman in my house and like I figured out her favorite color is yellow. Like who the fuck loves yellow and all this stuff. But like we were just joking around that it's like we were finally having conversations with each other and like finally like I don't know, talking and stuff because sports aren't on and everything. So we've been watching sports movies all day to kind of like make up for March Madness. But anyway, I'm so excited because like 10 rounds obviously is coming out, you guys. You know that it's launching tonight at 10 p.m. Central Time. I was gonna go to bed early and then like wake up super early, and I was like sitting here and Aaron starts laughing and I was like, do you think you know me now? Like since we've been having like conversations for like the last 48 hours, but I was like, okay, whatever. So I am going to stay up. I'm going to like purchase 10 rounds before I go to bed, kind of create some FOMO before I wake up in the morning. So if you aren't sure which bundle you're looking at and all of that stuff, I did a video in the team page earlier today to kind of help with that. So if you have questions and stuff, check that thing out. Otherwise, we're going to get going just to make sure we respect Andrea's time. How did that happen? Someone like screenshot this? That's so weird. Does anyone know how that, like, does that happen because someone like screenshotted it? I totally didn't do that. I don't even know what's going on. Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening. Whoever's like, I don't know how that's working. Did I do that? Undo. Nope. All right, well, cool. That's weird. Clear all drawings. Boom. Learned it. Okay. All right, so what's happening this week? So just a reminder, tomorrow is technically like the launch of 10 rounds. It will be on the website or whatever tonight, like 10 p.m. Central. I'm assuming if everyone's waiting until 10:01 p.m., we're going to break the internet. So please be sure that if you stay up, you're probably going to be up longer than 5 minutes. You're probably going to be up like 5, 10, maybe 30 minutes. If you have people who are ready to sign up, you can send those links out before you go to bed. Right after the call, if you're like, nah, I'm going to bed, wake up super early tomorrow, make sure you're kind of like blowing up the fact that we have this launch. Just a reminder though, that 10 rounds is only for VIP or coach purchase tomorrow. It's not for customers. So if they're not willing to switch to a discount coach, then they do have to wait till April. So just kind of be aware of that. Also, I added in the events page, Mel Mitro is running a call with Kelsey Hill about how she went from basically like brand new baby coach to top 10 in the company. So she called it Coach to 100K in 2 years, just really showing you guys like the vision and the growth that this company does have and the opportunity that's out there. So that's an event in the team page. We had talked about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just looking at power hours. So just for you guys that missed it, we are doing it Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. So we'll have like a team-wide power hour. We're going to just do one a week. And then each week we're going to change who's actually doing the power hour. So I volunteered as tribute to go first. And then another leader on the company is just going to take it over and do it next week. Okay. All right. So make sure you guys are securing Success Club. Obviously, it's like the 15th of the month. So most of you are already beyond Success Club 5, which is freaking phenomenal. But I'm assuming the launch is probably going to take you where your business needs to go. Please keep in mind, we have a lot of coaches this week really pushing for a certain rank and stuff by Wednesday and hoping this launch really helps them. So just kind of like cross your fingers and keep them in good spirits and send them all the love that they need because they're pushing. So just kind of creating FOMO around 10 rounds, doing your thing. You guys know what to do. Post on social media, blow it up, talk about it on your stories. And then also utilizing the access that you have, the free sample link that you have for people to try out. So it's kind of like a test drive before you actually purchase your car and all that fun stuff. So, all right, coach of the week. So super funny. we were sitting in the kitchen and I was like, okay, how the fuck do you say this girl's name? I'm like, I always get it wrong. I always say it wrong. So I sent her a voice message and I was like, T-Baby, tell me how to say your name. She's like, it's Tree with an S, like Tree S. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you're going to be T-Baby for life. But I wanted to be able to like pronounce it for everyone else. But anyway, like Aaron was like, wow, you're a great coach. You don't even know how to pronounce her name. I was like, okay, but seriously, it's like a running joke. But anyway, coach of the week goes to my T-Baby. She's literally like my little unicorn, I call her. She's obsessed with pineapples, so maybe I should have changed that. But as a new coach, when she came in, like And I don't mean this in any way, like a negative way. Like, she just didn't have like the confidence that I saw in her, if that makes sense. Like when you see her, you're like, damn, that girl's fierce. But like when you talk to her, she just didn't really have that like ball of fire yet. And as she started posting, coming out of her shell, if you've seen her transformation, like holy crap. And so like now she's just fierce, basically AF, and is just owning it, which is coming out on social media. It's coming out in her posts and her invites finally. And like people are joining up with her and like wanting to rock the journey with her because she has that energy and that vibrance. So, busy mama, she always is like doing school stuff and taking care of her and then running her business and just really making it happen. I don't think she ever misses a call. I don't think she ever misses like a message. Like she literally is always like hustling, and she's working her way like to diamond, and she's literally just like, I feel like her business is blowing up in my eyes because I finally see her coming out of that shell, and I'm finally seeing her like be that T baby that I like saw on day one. And honestly, like T, I mean this like from the bottom of my heart, you're literally like a backbone to this team because you're always here. Like I always can count on you, and that like creates so much. And that's why obviously like we have a really good friendship. I feel like if I was going to get married, like, yeah, you would be there standing up there with me. And so I really want you to know that. So rank, all of that stuff doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like you hustle your face off, and you're a coach of the week. So congratulations, sister. Okay. Guest speaker. So I had the joy of riding with Andrea for like 18 hours to Minneapolis one night. So we were going to Orlando, and of course there was a shit storm before we left, and a 3.5 hour trip literally took us like almost 7 hours to get there. And so we literally went from like the beginning of our life to the end of our life and like figured out we're pretty much the exact same person, which was crazy. But anyway, so she is actually part of my upline's downline. And she experiences a lot of the stuff that I do. And so it was just really good to talk to her about that and just kind of get some things squared away and figured out. And we've actually been kind of like planning our business and stuff since. And so being in Orlando and just really experiencing things together was great. And so some of her accolades, you guys, she ended last year Premier 2020. So, or she is this year because she worked for it last year, which means she was at least 2-star, advanced 1 diamond, and then had 105 elite points. So this year, obviously, like she's going to be elite, no questions asked, but like she set herself up for Premier last year, ended 182 in the company, with only having 2 diamonds. That's pretty impressive. And then is also a Success Club 10 All-Star Legend, which just means she always helps 5 people every single month, like no less than that. And I'm assuming it's probably more than 24 months now. I'm just depending on how long her coaching journey has been. But she's also the founder of Team Empowered with Grit, and her cool tattoo, obviously. I was there when she got it. Go figure. But anyway, Andrea, I'm going to unmute you, and I'll let you take it away, sis.
Awesome. Okay, so I made a presentation. That way I follow all the things because Ultimate Reset has my brain like everywhere, and Teacher Megan probably appreciates it. So here we go, friends. Welcome to the shit show. I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about I just had a weird accent. Just being real, raw, and honest, and being more than a Beachbody coach, because I really, truly feel like this is a topic that blew my business up. So I'll tell you a little bit of my story, quick and short to the point, and then we'll go into the content, and I'm just going to be real, raw, and honest with you guys. Like Megan said, we're kind of the same person, so expect that it's probably going to happen, and I might drop some, like F-bombs and stuff like that. So if your kids are listening, I'm sorry in advance, but that's who I am. Love it or hate it, whatever. All right, so who am I? I am a freaking hot mess. I am from Laverne, Minnesota, so I am just north of quite a few of you Iowa people. I'm assuming some of you are from there. I'm 23 years old. I've been coaching since like late 2016. I didn't want to do anything with the business when I first got started. In fact, like my upline and like my upline, like all of them besides Megan, I was like, I don't relate to any of them. Like they're all moms and like, I just don't relate. So honestly, like it's surreal sitting here because I used to like baby coach Andrea was in trainings and I would listen to Megan and I was like, wow, her confidence is through the roof and I want to be like her. Literally, that's where it was at. So you guys never sell yourself short because I never thought I'd be here. Like she asked me and I was like, holy shit, this is a whole new moment of my life. Like I used to think I could never do this and here we are. So besides that, I love agriculture. I'm really big into like farming and cows. Like I love cows more than people. So this business was perfect for me. Even when I thought it was going to be stupid and I had nothing to do with fitness, sports, anything like that before I got started. Long story short, I battled a whole bunch of anxiety and depression. Like Megan said, we're kind of the same person. I'm just in a different body over here in Minnesota. And I happen to like, you know, cows, not dogs as much, I guess, whatever you want to say. But I'm engaged, planning a wedding. I'm a hot mess, but that's me. So we'll roll with it. Okay, so first and foremost, before we even get into the topic of my entire presentation, it kind of rolls with it, but your journey is a top priority. And when I tell you this, I'm being 100% honest, because if you're not filling up your own cup and being your own freaking best challenger, your business is not going to go anywhere and you're not going to be a great coach for your people. So that's where you have to have that gut check. Would you want to join yourself as a challenger? And are you consistent enough? Like I could tell you that Coach Andrea back in 2017, I would have never wanted to join her because she was still in and out of her journey. She wasn't really consistent and she was kind of just there doing the things. I wasn't, helping out and reaching out and doing all the things. I was just, working out 3 times a week, posting here and there. I just wasn't doing those things. I can tell you now that I would join myself in a heartbeat because I show up and do the nitty gritty every single day, no matter how I'm feeling. Okay. So that means posting, inviting, follow-ups, workout, nutrition, personal development, repeat all the freaking time. You're honestly like, I get up, I do my power hour, and I'm sure Megan relates, and some of you that are on here that have been doing this for a while, you feel that, you feel like you're just kind of a robot doing the things. Like you're still enjoying it, you're still doing it, but like it's natural. I wake up, I post, I'm on my stories and I work out and I do my PD. Like it's just something that happens. Once you get to that point, like this business really starts to move forward. And it does take time to get into that, but make sure that you are being your best challenger before you even try to grow hardcore and build, because it'll be a lot more easier. I know easy, how you would say that, as you get going. So there's that little gut check for you guys. All right, so you are not just a Beachbody coach. This is where I kind of like got stuck when I came into things. I was like, I don't really love fitness. Like I was never the girl. I would skip gym class. I would schedule all of my appointments during gym class because I hated cardio. We did Insanity back in the day in 10th grade, and I was like, no, this guy is crazy. And now I love him. But I was like, I can't represent Beachbody because I prefer pizza over abs. Like I really like to eat ice cream, even though I'm dairy sensitive, like all of these things. And I was like, I can't just only be that. And I thought that agriculture and my love of like cows and all of that just couldn't go with fitness. But I'm gonna tell you that as soon as you start realizing that this is not just fitness and not just Beachbody, and it's an actual business that's your entire, like your journey as a whole, it will blow up, okay? So ask yourself, if you don't really know who you are in a way, some of you are going to say that. I can guarantee new coaches are like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what to share. Ask yourself, ask your friends, ask your spouse, if you have one, whatever, your boyfriend, friends, your parents, whatever, people who know you well. Honestly, Megan can probably tell you a few things, but I'm not me without this. And I guarantee you that, like, if you go to my social media, if you ask my coaches, if you ask my fiance, they could list a whole, like, notebook page of things that Andrea is not Andrea without. I actually have a notebook page somewhere that's front and back of things that I wrote down and things that my roommates in college wrote down, my coaches have said about me, all good things, of course, that like they can't imagine, not in my life. So it's going to be agriculture, it's going to be Nathan, it's going to be anxieties, as it sounds, and fitness and F-bombs and Eminem rap music skills. Like it's random things like that. That's the stuff that makes me more than a Beachbody coach, because I'm an individual, and those are the things that you need to be sharing as you get going. So it's the weird, like I used to have lip sync parties in my like unfinished kitchen before like TikTok and Trailer came out, and I thought I was cool and awkward, and now everyone does it, and I'm like, cool, like hello, I see all of you on Jody's stories sometimes, and I'm like, wow, look at all of them like doing their thing. That was me in 2017 being awkward, right? But those are things I did. Like I badly rapped Eminem. That's my people know me. Like when some of my coaches join me, they're like, I love that. Like that's my jam. And I'm like, hey, y'all are my people, right? But with that, remember that you're not just a brand. This is where I got stuck as well. Once I was like, cool, like I can do these things. My brand is agriculture and Beachbody and fitness. But what if I get into like new hobbies, or there's all these things, or like life happens? There is no perfection in this, and you are not just a brand. You need to remember that. So when someone tells you to find your 5 things, take that with a grain of salt, because those 5 things are awesome. Like I can tell you, I post about, anxiety and depression. confidence, like pizza, honestly, a lot, as much as I miss it. With Ultimate Reset right now. But those are the things that are part of my brand. But I'm a human. Life's going to happen. You are always going to be evolving. That's why you need to remember that you're more than just 5 things, right? You're not just going to like forget to say something about like some new adventure that happens in your life, right? My personal favorite personal development book with that is Find Your Fuck Yeah, by Alexis Rockley. If you have not read it, I would strongly encourage it, especially if you enjoy vulgar swear words and all of that. She's honest and straight to the point and breaks down all of that, and I absolutely loved it. It was like a nail in the head for what I've been doing in my life lately. And then with that, fitness is cool, but who are you besides that? I know it's so easy to post sweaty selfies and share all those things, but you are more than just your workout. So share more than that, please. You have to set yourself apart from all of the other coaches that are out there. Going on with that. Okay, so highlight reels versus real life. This is you start to like find your true people by being your weird, quirky, awkward self. Like I said, my awkward Eminem dance party skills in my kitchen. That's where I started finding my real people. And a lot of my like OG coaches that I started finding in early 2019, they know like the rapping Eminem Andrea, because that was the weird stuff I did. And some people were like, well, that's weird, I'm gonna unfollow her. Cool, they're not my people. I also share when I'm struggling, when I'm on a freaking mountain crushing life, when I don't want to work out, when I binge ate a whole bunch of cookie dough. Like I share everything going on in my life. I mean, you know, not everything, but I'm not going to hide like the issues that I have, or when like shit gets hard, I share that, because your people are going to want to see you like honestly go through hell and make a comeback and be a badass, basically. I'm going to tell you that vulnerability has been my secret weapon in this business. When I have struggled, when I have lost people, gone through grief, lost pets, like didn't get into vet school, I thought my life was over. I lost myself, but I also was like, cool, like I know what it's like to hit rock bottom. I'm not going that low ever again in my life. I'm gonna make a comeback. And every single time I've done that, my business has grown up. So when you are struggling or going through some hard shit, you don't have to share like everything on social media, obviously, but like communicate with your people that you're struggling and that you're still here doing the things, because they want to see you. Like they honestly want to see you struggle and make a comeback, like I said, but it knows that you're not going to give up on them when like shit gets hard, right? I can tell you that whenever I've struggled, gone through grief, whatever's going on, my business literally has blown up because my people are like, cool, she's not going to give up on me. They've said that numerous times. They're like, okay, I'm going to trust you. And that's building that trust as you get going. Your journey is where that trust comes from, and just being your true self. And with that, remember that your job can be a little weird. Like straight up back in the day, if I would have gotten like messages from people and MLMs and all of that, I was nasty. I was just like an absolute asshole about it. I would be very mean back. So you have to remember that sending cold messages is not a lot of fun. This is where like inviting is not gross, because you're building connections as you get going. So I'm sure Megan taught you how to invite. You invite from your posts, you invite from people that are actually watching your stories, not random people you don't even follow, like some other companies do. But be a freaking human, because people will approach you and actually answer your messages or be waiting for a message when you're being yourself more than anything else. So make sure that you're just truly being you, whatever it is. Be weird, rock your dance parties, share your funny jokes. I have a coach that shares like puns every single day, and her people love it. Like they thrive on it. Whatever is you, do it, because you're going to find your people, and inviting won't be as awkward, and they're going to be like, cool, I'm going to actually respond to her because I feel like I know her from social media. Okay, so finding your tribe a little bit and realizing who you are, because this is where my business blew up when I finally started just being my true self, because I hid that for a really, really, really long time. So just kind of finding your people is what brands do they like. This is where I find people to follow. So honestly, like I'm into Western things, agriculture. I love to go to like Western boutiques that are like all cowgirl fashion. Those are my people. Like generally they're going to be in agriculture. Those are my people. They follow back, things like that. So whatever it is Megan could go for teachers. I'm sure that's what she does because she's a retired teacher now. Whatever you have going on, find your people. And what are they like? What do they do? When you're actually finding your people, you're going to have things in common before like they even follow you. They're going to see your page and be like, cool, I'm going to follow her because she also does this. Or she's also a dog mom obsessed with her dog. Or she also really likes pizza, right? That way you have that connection before you even start to build a relationship. And ask yourself when you come to someone's page, to invite them, to have a conversation, things like that. Are you genuinely excited to talk to them and help them and have them on this journey with you? Every single time before I actually invite someone to coaching, or actually like legit follow them, I guess, like I actually have to see like, cool, I want to be in this person's life, or I want to, build a relationship with them. Because if I'm not excited to do that, it like the business isn't going to be fun. And when you start to find your true people, I'm not kidding, this business is so much fun, and your like team chats will blow up, and rank advancing is a lot easier, and doing all the things is just natural because you have your people. Okay. All right, so just some tips on daily posting content to take things other directions. And I know you guys have probably heard these before, but sometimes hearing it from a different person or hearing how I do it might help. But so lifestyle and fun is one big topic that's so easy to post about. If you have absolutely nothing to say and you're just like, bleh, like I could not lie to you guys, the day 3 of Ultimate Reset, you're like down for the count. I pulled a lifestyle/fun post out of my butt, and I was like, cool, here's a picture of me and my dog and blah, 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 something like that. That's where you start to really just, share who you are without being like business challenge group post related. So if you have kids, if it's a family picture, date night, hobbies, whatever's going on. So like in the weekends when it's nice out, I usually ride horse right now. I share that. And I'm like, what did you do on a Saturday? It's just kind of sharing a little bit of my life. And that's something you would post without even being a coach, regardless of what you had going on, right? So you would post a picture of your kids. You would post a picture of your dog. Like I would post pictures of, I don't know, my dog doing weird stuff or things like that all the time, right? Or cows per usual. So I'm going to post that every so often on my page. That way when people come to my page, they know what I'm into besides fitness and like this business thing, trying to, build it, all that jazz. Education. This is where I always thought I was stuck to educating and teaching on fitness or healthy living. Like giving recipes, things like that. But what can you truly teach someone? So whatever it is that you're good at, that isn't just related to like fitness is great to teach someone. So if you are really good at like hair or makeup or organizing your life, I don't even know, like weird crafty things, whatever you're really good at or you can teach someone about, do it. So I educate a lot on agriculture just because that's what my people love. Like we love to support our whole life. So I do a lot of that. I did one on how I trained my hair to go longer between washes, even when you work out and it's all sweaty and gross. And it blew up. Like people were like, oh my gosh, I need this in my life, right? So weird things like that you can teach someone or give tips on or free value is huge, and it can help you build relationships and get seen on the Explore page, and we all want more followers, right? Inspiration and motivation, this is where your journey comes in, and just being honest and sharing through all of that goes through, so you guys know quotes and transformations and reflecting back on who you were before you started, things like that. I have all of this like examples as well. And then we have the business opportunity, which is something you should be sharing about from day 1 as a coach. And I'm going to tell you guys that I've been coaching since late 2017, and I never talked about coaching once until the beginning of 2018, barely in the beginning of 2018, and not a lot until the end. I regret that decision so much because I didn't start developing a team until the beginning of 2019. I'm not kidding. Like I went into 2019 with 3 working coaches that weren't even emerald at that point. Like I was an emerald or a diamond coach myself. So day 1 as a coach, do not be afraid to invite to the coaching opportunity because you have a gift to give someone else, and that is how you build a business, and you're not alone in the journey. So it's really fun to have your upline team and like be friends with other coaches that are under Megan. But when you start actually building your own team, that is truly where the fun and the momentum comes from, and it's a lot more rewarding to be doing it with your own tribe in a way, as much as it is like, cool, I'm part of Empower Dynasty or whatever. But it's cool to be like, I have my own team now. Like, heck yeah, go us doing our thing over here. And she will be more than proud to see you start to soar and do your own thing, okay? I was butthurt and like I thought my coach was gonna hate me when I'd go do my own thing. As soon as I did, like everything happened. Megan's laughing right now. But I'm gonna tell you, like finding your tribe and doing all like the business and posting about it is something you just have to do, and it takes time, but you have to start from day 1. So do not be afraid if you're a brand new coach who signed up yesterday. Talk about the coaching opportunity and invite to it from day 1, okay? All right, so some example posts just kind of give you guys some of the good stuff. Share your past to now. So this doesn't have to always be fitness related. Like I can tell you guys, I don't talk about fitness as often as a lot of other coaches probably, just because that's not who I truly am. But all of my posts kind of tie into it. So I've had really bad luck with my relationships in the past and always let people walk all over me. A lot of you can probably relate. I was in a lot of toxic friendships, toxic relationships. I just dropped a post about this tonight again. But I know what it's like to feel like you have no worth. And when I started taking care of myself and working out, I found my worth. And that is a big part of my mission and like my why for a coach. So I talk about that in all shapes and forms all of the time, whether it's with Nathan, with my friendships, with just my relationship with myself. That's an easy way to talk about your past to now. That's not just like, ooh, look at this transformation of me flexing, or I have abs or cool muscles, right? Get deep and honest with your people. Um, this is one that's really big and you're gonna get some hate for in the process, but have an opinion and own the crap out of it. And I got this from Ashley Molstead, and as soon as I finally was like, oh cool, I have an opinion and that's also worth the, sharing, it was like, oh, surprise, this is how I went viral on Facebook, and it didn't help my business at all, but I was kind of excited about it. But I love agriculture, you guys know that, so I talk about it all the time. And I do not care if someone is going to bash me, be part of PETA or all of that stuff. Things like that. But my people were like 110% agree with this post. They agree with what I say. So own your opinion, whatever it is. Obviously, like, don't be nasty to someone, but own the opinion that you have. So if you're like, traveling's cool, you don't have to work 9 to 5, own the crap out of that opinion. Or if you really like your job, but you have a side hustle, own the crap out of the opinion that you love what you're doing. Whatever it is, own your opinion, because if you're just going to say, I'm cool with everything and not care, that's not truly being yourself. Like I said, share the struggles. So this summer I lost both of my dogs and I was like a hot mess. I gained like 20 pounds. My depression was beyond belief, things like that. And like I said, whenever I hit rock bottom-ish, not as bad as I've been before, and then make a comeback, my business explodes. This is one of those moments where I gained the weight. I felt like a fraud. I felt like I couldn't be a good coach. I was failing my girls. I showed up. I shared every part of what was going on once I felt like I was, past the point that I could actually start changing the things. And people were like, cool, she's still showing up, let's do this. And I started hitting higher numbers again and started finding my people and all of that. So never be afraid to share the vulnerable side of your life. Passions, quirks, and weirdness. Once again, if you have no inspiration for posts and your personal development isn't helping you, post your funny pictures. This is like, my people love this stuff because they're my people. And you guys are probably like, why is she hugging a cow? What is going on? Okay, so you're like, that's different. So I just tell a childhood story about my childhood cow, and here we go. And that's a good post for the day. Paint the picture. When you're talking about transformations, confidence, whatever you have going on, fitness related, boot camp wise, then you want to do a call to action. Always make sure that you're painting the picture and sharing how you really felt in the moment. And it gets challenging to do when you first get started, but once you start to reflect back, I can guarantee every single one of you, when you go into a shopping room now and you try on clothes, you feel completely different than you did when you first started. That is a subject that hits home with a lot of people. So share those moments. Like if you have that ever, or you overhear someone struggling with certain things, paint the picture of how life was before you started to where you are now. And that gets huge. And that was a call to action that wasn't even like, join my boot camp, blah, blah, blah. It was like, this is where I was before. This is how I feel, things like that. And then for coaching, make sure you're always, always, always reflecting back to who you were before you said yes. And I tend to always forget what life was like before I said yes and before I went full-time coach and all of these things happened. But if you're not going to share like from level 1 to level 85, wherever you're at now, people aren't going to think that they can join you and things like that. Like I have coaches that come on that are like, wow, you have so much success. I feel like I can't match that. I can't do that. I'm also like, cool, I was where you were 3.5 years ago. I know what it's like to struggle to find the first person, things like that, or just be struggling with the confidence, all of that. So always reflect back, and you're going to feel repetitive, but do the things all the time. Okay, so this is kind of my funnel for inviting to coaching, just a little bit for you guys. This is how I personally do it, and this is how I roll with it. So I publicly invite a whole lot more than like anything else. That's how I've always run my business. I still am in the DMs, but I'm always talking about my boot camps, always talking about coaching, and I'm sure Megan does too. But I can tell you that the more you talk about it publicly, the more that those private conversations and direct messages are going to be actually, like worth it. People are going to respond and be like, I've been watching you, or I've thought about it, blah, 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 things like that. So when you're talking about the coaching opportunity, do you even talk about it? That's where you have to have that gut check with yourself. Are you in your stories talking about it when you're hustling? Like, it's easy to snap a picture when you guys are on Zoom doing power hours, or when you're on a team call, when you have your tracker out, when you have your Rise Up planner, whatever you have going on. Make sure you're talking about it, post and stories, because if you're not, people aren't going to know about it, and they need to see it like an average of 7 times or whatever it is before they're even going to think about it. So you got to be talking about it all the time, just as much as you do boot camps. And then the number one way that I find coaches is from challengers. And I'm sure that every single one of you probably relates, is those check-ins and results lead to rockstar coaches. And often you have to pour belief into the people before they're even going to commit to coaching. Like, you have to love on them, you have to support them, and be right there with them in the trenches, crushing their journey. And that confidence that comes from them, seeing that results, feeling the mental results, emotional results, whatever they have going on, that's how you get your rockstar coaches, okay? And every single one of you knows that you've probably had results of some sort. Inviting your dream babes, I have successfully brought in 2 coaches that I was obsessed with, and I was like, you would be a rock star coach. So this is one that takes more time, but honestly, when you truly find someone that you are absolutely like in love with their profile, you are like, they are number one fangirl, be there's like social media BFF, reply, engage with their stuff. If they engage with your stuff back, that's when you can open the door to have a conversation about it. I don't really like go for cold invites of like hardcore, this girl doesn't even follow me type of invites, but I'm like, cool, you do the same thing I do. Have you ever thought about this? And it takes a lot of time. So if you get turned down once, make sure that you keep doing it. Because I actually just enrolled a coach last month that I've been inviting for 2.5 years, and she would like, all of a sudden she's like, I want to go full time, and I'm a month into the business. Like 2.5 years later, she finally committed, and she's crushing it. So never give up on those people that you see like complete skill and amazingness in. And always remember, if you don't want to work with someone, don't invite them to the coaching opportunity. They will suck your soul dry. It's hard, especially when you're like, oh, I want to hit diamond. But if someone is going to suck your soul dry and you're not excited to work with them, don't invite them to coaching, because it won't be fun for either of you. Okay. Learn from me struggling in the beginning. When I first hit diamond, like, it was not fun to do anything because they genuinely were not someone I want to connect with or hang out with or do anything with. Okay. Stick to your why. This is big. It's kind of my last little like chats for you guys. Stop doing what your upline does or what some coach or influencer does on social media. You have to just stay in your own lane and do your own thing. So if you are constantly comparing yourself to someone, or constantly like, what is she doing? Constantly like, what is, Kelsey Hill doing, or whatever you have going on, stay in your own lane and do your own thing. If your gut says to do this, but someone else is doing this over here, stay in your own lane, 110%. Your people will do whatever you're doing. They're there for a reason. Stop changing and going all over the place just because you see that it's working for someone else. And that was big, because I was so like left, right, forward, like this person's doing this, but like, I was all over the place. And finally I was like, stop, do your own thing, stay in your own freaking lane. And that's where the magic started to come from. And it's a lot more fun in the long run. You guys know that this is my own presentation. We're just going to go from there. But in the end, this is your business, your story to tell, your page and your journey. Make sure it's actually yours that you are sharing. If you're not truly being yourself on social media, this is not going to be a fun time for you, and you won't find your like actual people that are going to stick with it. Okay. So that's what I got for you. I can answer questions. I'll stop sharing my screen once.
I love it. So, you're probably like mainly just on Instagram pretty much, which is awesome, because I know myself, even I'm still like new to Instagram. Like, I'm like totally a lot on Facebook. So just like the fact of like brands and stuff, I liked that you said to do that. Sometimes I like never think about that. Like, I think about, I have favorite brands, but I never thought about like going and like looking at those. So quick question, and then I'll open it up if anyone else has any other questions. But as far as like your coaching like invites and stuff, when you said you do it a lot publicly, do you just like normally post about the coaching opportunity, or do you have call to actions too, or is that kind of something you just take towards like towards Messenger and stuff?
So I would say like I generally talk about coaching at least every other day, at least in like an actual post hardcore. Like it depends on the week if I'm enrolling for all of the things, but I would say like more it's just giving that belief in them and sharing a little bit of my story and like, hey, you can do this too. Because for me, it was like, okay, like I would see this coach doing this, or like Megan's doing this, but I could never be successful. So for my people, it's the lack of belief. So instead of being like, hey, you can do this with me, I'll be like, I'm here whenever you are or whenever you're ready, things like that. And then like tonight, I was just sharing how I'm speaking on a call. This is what I'm doing, like engaging my thing. But I would say more of, building that, getting people that like it and that are constantly leaving those posts. And then it's more of an actual in the DMs thing. And I send them my little, like, this is what we do as a coach video. And usually we grow from there.
Yeah. Cause I think, I liked when you talked about your business, about like where you started from, because that's something that I struggle with, that people are like, yeah, right. But I actually struggle to get coaches because they see where I'm at now and they're like, yeah, I would never be able to do that, or to be at home, or, to retire myself and all of this stuff. And so when I was a teacher, like was in the actual hustle every day, it was a lot easier mentally for me to like recruit coaches because like they saw me in the cracks. So I try to do a lot of like, okay, I'm sitting down to work my business right now. This is how I schedule out my day and stuff. And so it was just nice to have that reminder that like, I mean, obviously you're in the same boat. So just like keep sharing phase one, basically. So
yeah, the less that I reflect back or actually talk about, like I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work out and drive 40 minutes to work. Like the more I talk about that, the more I find my people that are like, I hate my job, or like I'm so drained type of thing, that I actually reflected. Like if I'm just like, cool, full-time coach, doing my own thing, people are like, good for you, versus like, oh, I could do that too.
Yeah.
So I struggle.
And I know like coaching doesn't always have to be full-time and stuff too. And that was kind of like, I was just doing it to like help pay the bills and everything, but I do like to craft that vision that it is possible, obviously, for someone. So yeah, awesome. I love it. Anyone else have questions for Andrea? Anything about Instagram, anything about hashtags, anything about finding your people? This is always an area we struggle with as a team to recruit coaches. So now would be a really good time to ask the questions.
Follow it. Okay, I saw that, Jody. Hey, girl. Okay, so it's funny because I follow her now, but I see all you guys' dance parties. I kind of laugh usually. Like T-Baby, I see you every morning, by the way. Rocking your shit. Fangirling over here. Anyway, so growing my Instagram back in the day, like I started coaching and I was like never going to go on social media on my own personal Instagram. I had a like page, so I do have that, but it doesn't do anything now. So when I first went to Instagram, the beginning of 2018, I had like less than 1,500 followers, and they were mostly like guys from college that are being creepy AF, liking your shit, or like weird people from middle school. It's like my original middle school Instagram is what I'm using now. So when I first like started, it was just, I didn't even know it like growing my following was worth it. And then we could like pay for services for a while. So I did that for a while, and that got me a little bit of the ways. But now it's just truly like just being myself and finding my people, which I mean, like you've been in the business now, you've been doing that. But finding those brands, like I said, like Western boutiques, where like, I know some of you are like into the clothing and things like that. I'm not, but my people are into that. Like, cool, I would love to do that, but I don't leave the house, So I would say like I go to the pages, I will go find like the most recent posts, and the people that are liking that, I will go follow them from there. So if they have a woman's name, they look generally young, which is like, 20 to 30 is my people because I'm 23, I follow from that. Or like my agriculture sorority that I was in, I find from those followers because they're my same people. But I always follow, and then now Instagram has the thing. So honestly, here's the deal. Whenever you go pee, go follow people, because you're going to be drinking a lot of water. Whenever you go pee or do your other thing, follow people or unfollow. That is my system. That's how I do it. Especially in an Ultimate Reset, you pee like every 20 minutes, I swear. I've been growing like crazy because I've been like on a mission. So I follow like 25, 30 people, and then I'm done. Like I just do it throughout the day. That way Instagram doesn't block me. I have a downline coach that follows like 400 people a night, and she gets blocked every single night. And I was like, they're going to take your account down. Don't do that. And then, so I follow Monday through Thursday, just throughout the day. I probably follow like 1,000 some people a week. It's like stressful. And then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So right now I'm unfollowing. So if you go to your following list, it'll tell you like your least interacted with now. It's a new little thing. I go unfollow 49 people at a time throughout the day. and just go from there. And then, I mean, like, if I'm following some 13-year-old girl, when I go through, I'm like, okay, unfollow. I don't need to like be in her life, and roll from there. That's how I do it. But it's just more of like showcasing who you are as a person on your own social media. My people come when they see like cows and my dog, and they're like, cool, I want to follow her, right? But numbers don't mean crap, because I can tell you my engagement's not great right now. I don't really care. So
I don't know if T had like a question, but I'm sure she said she's having a hard time finding real people, I guess. I don't know if you saw that question. So I was just trying to.
yeah. So like finding real actual people, or like real people that are cool shit. Just type in, I see it.
Well, like, because I follow a lot of people, or people will start following me, and they're like bots. Like, they vote on your stories and they like follow your stuff, but like they're not actual people.
Yeah, so I run into that a lot, or like weird different pages do that. But I would just truly try to find different pages that relate to who you are. So instead of just going to like a mom page, so I mean you're a mom, I would say, just like guessing, or like whatever you have going on in your life, find a page that kind of is off of that. So I could go to like a cow fan page, that'd be weird because there wouldn't be as many, women and things like that, versus like a Western boutique is going to be my people. But then it also comes down to, if your Instagram isn't attractive to them, they're not going to give you a follow back. So you've got to make sure that they actually are going to relate to something on your page. So like it kind of goes hand in hand. Like if Megan was going to go follow a whole bunch of, like 45-year-old moms, they're probably going to be like, do I want to follow her? Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes one of my coaches join and they're like my mom's age. And I'm like, what did you find on my page that was interesting to you? Right. But you have to make sure it goes hand in hand. And you can test out pages, and it does take time. Like I can tell you that there's weeks that I gain 10 followers and that's it. So. Okay, follow my friends daily. Okay, so the following thing. I follow people, and then I usually send new follower intro messages when they follow back like 3 times a week. So like Monday nights after team calls, that's normally what I do. So if someone follows me, I'll like scroll down a bit. That way, if they follow me that day, I'm not like, hey, surprise, I'm in your inbox 2 minutes later. So if you go to your followers list, it's in order of who followed you most recently, right up top. So these are my newest people. So I literally just like scroll a little ways, and I'll start just like, I'll send them a, hey, this is me, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the shit show. This is what I'm like. It's a little like, this is me. That starts to build a relationship. And then 50% of the people respond and we have something in common, or they unfollow, or they like it, or never respond. But if they actually respond and we have a conversation, I will go engage with their stuff. If they don't respond, I don't care. Like, they're gonna see my stuff, that's cool, but they didn't actually, respond to my like, hey, I genuinely am excited about connecting because I'm introverted. I don't worry about it. So I don't do a lot of connecting and like liking and loving on their stuff very much. It's more of just like, hey, this is me, this is what you can expect. Do we have anything in common, in building that relationship? But I just do that like 3 times a week, if that helps a little bit. And I just like send them, it's a copy and paste, put my phone down, and usually that's the end of the night because people are still responding. And if you're anything like me, it stresses you out when you have 85 messages. Put it down, go away, and look at them the next day. That's the last thing I do. But generally, once you do that, then I can see that people are watching my story. So then I can go and invite them like 2 days later, 3 days later.
Okay. Yeah, I just struggle with like, obviously you go through and follow people, and then they follow you back. Then I'm like already like stressed out from like following. Then I'm like, I don't even want to like go like and comment on all of your shit because I don't even remember who you are. So yeah, I like that you just do it a couple of nights a week, and then it's like.
Yeah, no, it's like on Monday, Wednesday, and like Saturday if I like do a lot, but generally I forget, and then I do 185 on Mondays. But I don't worry about the liking and commenting because I would not do it and I would just be stressed out. So
Okay, awesome. Anyone else have any other questions? Yeah,
good.
Maybe everyone's good. Gooch.
I'm an open book, so if you guys do have questions, you can ask them. I would tell you things.
Do you have live power hour recording somewhere?
What do you mean, Jody?
Like when you work your business, have you ever done a live power hour?
Oh, yeah, I have, but I've not recorded them. But generally, I do it with my team every single Wednesday. I know everyone in the Push Mastermind is like, why don't you record this? I'm like, because you just watch us working. Come on. But like, I literally follow a tracker that I made that's kind of like the BAT, but a little bit different. And I do that every single day. That's my coaches do too.
Weird.
I like made my own. It's fine.
I just like to reorganize it. I like how your brain works when you sit down to work your business, I guess. Because like,
I don't like being a little more specific too, you know?
yeah, that was just something that was like, when I was working with my upline, I was like, just show me like what I'm supposed to do. Just tell me what you do when you sit down at your computer. And then I was like, well, why do I care what she's doing? And so I just like, like sat down and I was like, what do I do when I sit down to my computer? What makes sense for me? And like, so me, I have like do 10 to 15 stories. I don't need like ideas, I guess. Like I just do my thing, but like a newer coach, you know, might need that. So that's why, yeah, I think it's just good to kind of find your flow for sure.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyone have anything else?